What's up, my friends? It's the Toeman once again. Today we're going to review Week 8 of MetaZoo to start of Week 9. I had to re-record this because I was going to release the video that I recorded today, being Memorial Day, but there was some breaking news today, so I had to re-record it, so we're going to add some more information. This past week, they hit up another Collecticon. I believe it was Orlando. I apologize. I've been really busy this past week. Didn't get any time to kind of research things. It just looked like more people were at the Collecticon. Same as previous Collecticon. They had the spin wheel. They had a tournament going on. They had a lot of things zoo-wise happening at the con, specifically for the con. And we had heard from Mr. Charlie Herlocker a couple days ago where I asked him what he thought about Orlando and stuff like that. Was very excited to see the turnout. Now, there's not much really going on. Today, I had spoken with Catching Cryptids on his account, on his YouTube account. He did a video where he talked about the gameplay of MetaZoo, and he thought that it was objectively bad, and he also thought that it was a major cause, the number two cause of why the game failed the first time, or the TCG itself, the company failed the first time. I vehemently disagree with that. Objectively being bad would mean that zero people played it, it would be unplayable, or it would be broken to the point that you couldn't get through a whole game. It's very subjective if you think that it was not good or not your favorite. That's the more subjective thing would say it's not my favorite or I don't like it. Objective would be saying it's bad. You cannot prove that it was bad because one person that says it was I liked it, like myself, I liked it, would prove logically that it's objectively not bad. That's how logic works in a conversation. We had a very adult, very mature conversation where we brought information and back up to our argument. We didn't call each other names. We didn't put LOL at the end of every conversation because we're adults talking to each other in a very friendly manner. And we agreed to disagree on certain points. The major point is that I came up with 5 things that I thought were the demise of MetaZoo. You can loop them all into bad management, but you can even say that the game is a result of bad management because the management created the game, right? So that's kind of also a logical fallacy in itself if we're going to use that as a defining moment in what you're talking about in the argument. My 5 issues were that basically they schemed, they lied, they cheated people out of money, they sold us on fake things, the NFTs, not paying people, stealing pre-order money, causing the masses to turn against it, and also Major League would be that they were poor to the customers. They weren't good to the customers, therefore the customers were no longer throwing out thousands of dollars for the products. The gameplay might be number 6, because I honestly think that the gameplay was cutting off a large portion of the audience. You had to read a lot of text. You had to be very wise. You had to be used to TCGs in order to play it. But Magic is also succeeding that way. Lorcana is succeeding with having very basic gameplay. Pokemon is kind of rebranded itself to be very basic as well. And those are succeeding. But OP is very successful and has a more polished, more seasoned gameplay. Digimon is still surviving after almost 30 years now and has a more mature gameplay. So there's arguments for both ends why it's important, what kind of gameplay is important to succeed. I thought art was a big determining factor why it wasn't as big as it should have been, because a lot of people were turned off initially to the art and never came back around. I enjoyed a lot of the art. I'm not saying that specifically to me, that I didn't like the art of MetaZoo. There's certain things that I didn't like art-wise, but the direction was taken to be like base set Pokemon in that art style, the watercolor. And that's a turn-off to a lot of people. And now they have a new style that is more modern. They have a gameplay that's more modern. Yet it's still not super successful. I don't think it could survive in its new form. So changing the gameplay is not saving the game at all. Actually, it's hurting because a lot of people who were playing the game previously aren't playing this. A lot of people who are collecting aren't collecting this. So it's kind of a conundrum in itself, right? But two things that occurred both in the old zoo and the new zoo was the lack of marketing. And you can't survive if people don't know about it. I think a lot more people saw the old zoo, especially when you had the Kickstarter. When you have IG, people posting a lot. When you had YouTube, and there's a significant amount of YouTube subscribers on the old zoo. When you had the NFTs, where there's a significant amount of people who had bought into the NFTs. When you had guys like Rudy pushing it and other influencers pushing it, you probably had, in my opinion, you had over 1 million people who knew about old zoo. You don't have 1 million people who know about the new zoo. So I think things need to change in certain ways to continue to make it survive. Because if you change everything but marketing, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to survive. If you have the same problem as you had before, where if not enough people know it to buy it, to sustain it. So that's what the argument was. I'd like to hear what you guys think as far as what about the old zoo doomed it. Was it the gameplay? Specifically, I would like to hear what you guys think. Was it the gameplay that you think killed it? I don't think so. I don't think it was top 5, but I'd like to hear from y'all. One major thing, a new spoiler that came through today, was the second set. The second set has been released or teased or spoiled somehow, and it has a card art. It has the booster box. The booster box has a beautiful, probably the best ever yet, depiction of the Frogman, and also 4 card arts. Frogman, Alpha Alligator, or just Sewer Alligator, or NYC Alligator. It looks like you have an Abominable Snowman, and then there's another one that is some weird looking creature I've never seen before in my entire life. Never been in an old zoo. Probably never existed. This thing looks ridiculous. It looks cool and like a grotesque alien monster type of way. So I would like to hear from y'all about that too. I'll post a picture in the clickbait of the video to see if you guys think. And I want to hear from y'all. What are you thinking about the next set? You buying into it? What do you think about the gameplay of the old game? What do you think about the gameplay of the new game? Because another little spoiler, not as big. Flyer 26 and I played the new zoo on Friday night. Back in the day, when we were kids, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days I sit back and wish I was a kid again. Back in the day, me and Flyer used to play on Friday nights. He lived 2 houses down before he moved in with his beautiful girlfriend and started a new life. He lived 2 houses down from me, and every Friday night, we used to play MetaZoo. It was COVID. We really couldn't hang out with many other people, so it would just be me and him, and we'd play MetaZoo to the crack of dawn. And we loved it. The first time we played it, we were so confused, but we were hooked. And then we read about more and more, and we were like, oh, we're making all these mistakes. And we figured out how to play, and then the rest is history. But we hadn't played the new game together. I watched all the videos. I played a little bit by myself. Haha, joke there. But I hadn't played against a human being, and he hadn't played yet at all. He didn't even see the cards. So I gave him the other set of the thank you package, and we cracked it open. He played the lightning deck, and I played the air deck, and it was fun. I'm not gonna lie, it gave me the feelings of the old MetaZoo, playing the old MetaZoo. Confusion, intrigue, and excitement. Those are 3 things that really hooked me in the first time. So I'm gonna give it a chance. It's kind of turned the leaf with me on the new zoo, to the point at least I'm going to look into it enough to just say, hey, let's see what this new set has to offer. Let's see what the gameplay is. Let's see if I like it. I dig it already to a certain extent. I didn't hate it at all. I liked it. It was quicker. It played a lot quicker, which was a big issue. If you look back at my old videos where I talked about what I was looking for the new gameplay, I wanted it to be less confusing. I wanted it to be quicker. I wanted to be able to involve more people, a bigger audience. Kind of the issues that we're talking about, the old gameplay that might have killed it. So a lot of these things have been secured with the new gameplay of the new game. So I would love to see this continue. I would love to see what happens in this next set. Maybe the next set will build on the first set, where you need the cards from the first set to have combinations with the second set. It all ties together. So thank you, and as always, I always ask for three things, right? Be cool, be nice to each other, do good. I usually say that out of turn. I usually say that a second, but also have peace.